lot of the games that have come out, and a lot of it since actually 2 months since. In fact, this was going to be one of the games that I played for the first 3 episodes of the intro to, which I've released as a 3. And I've recorded it and everything, but then I had some problems with YouTube. There's quite a bit of copyright music in there, and YouTube basically muted the entire video because of the music on it. So we're going to try again, and this time I have muted the music again. So if we just pop over, so there's no music in game, and we'll just have to make do. So this is my personal character that you're seeing now. This is one that I've been playing a lot of by myself. She's a mercenary / bounty hunter. Very cool. This is Labyrinth, who I was playing with for our for the episode of an intro to originally. I am actually going to delete him now because there's not much point in continuing with him, because I'm just going to start again. Which bit have I spelt wrong? Labyrinth. Oh, type delete, sorry. I thought I had to type the name of the character. So, I'm going to create a new character, and I'm going to talk you through all the mechanics like I did in the last one, except you can actually watch this one. So this is quite an old game now. Well, as far as games go, it's quite old. But there we go. I'm going to go with the Empire, just because I think it's more interesting to play as a bad guy on stream than as a good guy on stream. And you know, I've just done the first 8 levels of Sith Inquisitor myself, so that I don't get bored, I'm going to do Sith Warrior instead. So just to explain that, but for both the Empire and the Republic, there are 4 storylines. So if you look on my screen now, you can see I've got Sith Warrior, Sith Inquisitor, Bounty Hunter, and Imperial Agent, and all of those have their own storylines. And then there's similar classes on the Republic side, and then each class and each story is broken down into 2 types of, well, basically 2 sub-specializations. So if we look at Sith Warrior, so Sith Warrior versus Sith Inquisitor, there are 2 Force users. Sith Inquisitor focuses more on the Force, Warrior focuses more on lightsaber combat. So if we read the descriptions for their subclasses, we've got either a Sith Marauder, entrusted with the task of destroying the Empire's enemies. The dual-wielding Marauder embodies the teachings of Naga Shadow, probably saying that right, don't go if I'm not. Never hesitating, never faltering, there's no swifter bringer of pain in the galaxy. Or we have the Sith Juggernaut, a stalwart defender of the Empire. The Juggernaut embodies the teaching of Marka Ragnos, charging into enemies with heavy armor and pure rage. So if we just look at their abilities, so basically they're your tanks, and they seem to be more damage orientated. So we're going to go with a Marauder. I'm going to be a Zabrak. I'm playing this on the free version of the game, which is why you're seeing all of these markings here. These are, you know, you buy cartel coins with real money, and then you can unlock certain things. This, at the beginning of the game, that is mostly just cosmetic.
Time to rage.
Whose voice do I like better? It's useless to defy me. I prefer his voice, so we're going to go with a male. If I'm a Marauder, I think I want to be quite... well, not that one. Got to be quite big. I'm going to try and do this.
Now you'll see what a Sith is capable of.
I want to show off the character customization a bit, but I don't want to take too long, so I'm just going to have a quick flick through them and pick one, and then move on. I don't particularly like any of them for the Zabraks, to be honest, but there we go, that will do. Not going to have any scars, not going to have any change of awesome effect, complexion. Go for the first one. Tattoos. Go for that one. Horns and hair. I don't want him to have hair. I think that looks a bit wrong. That'll do. Don't have any hair, so don't need to worry about hair colour. I was sort of hoping to have like sort of that colour but darker, a bit like a Sauvage Press in Clone Wars, but they don't quite have the right shade, and that I think that looks a bit silly. So I'll just go for a deep red. Now this is the problem, because it's quite an old game. The naming can be a bit of an issue, because even if you randomise it and find one that you think is acceptable, Passir, sure, you'll find that it's unavailable because someone else has already used it. So what I tend to do is I find one that's almost acceptable, and then just add another vowel to it or something like that. Recaba. There we go. No one ever uses the name in the thing anyway. Oh, no. Alright. Now I have paused that, muted that, just because it wasn't supposed to play any music. But it has. And I don't want Disney to sue me, or YouTube to have a go at me. I'll let you read this for yourself rather than me read it, because I'll get it wrong. Right, let's get into the game. Yeah, so I think at this point I've actually played all of the classes, if not... I haven't played all of the subclasses, but I have played all of the 8 main classes. To different levels of... just put the sound back on, sorry. To different levels of completion. But we've got 2 hours, so last time I got to about level 8, which was just before I was supposed to leave the the starting world. So we'll try and get at least that far. In the past I had gotten to the first... I've left the first world in the 2 hours time slot, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
At last you've arrived. Good, good. There is much to do and every moment is critical.
I didn't read the intro, so I don't know how important I am.
I'm Overseer Tremel. For decades I've administered the trials that prove who is and is not worthy to join the Sith Order. The trials are a chance to weed out the weak. Those who
Hey,
face them
wait.
either survive and become Sith, or die.
Mark my words, I am destined to be Sith.
It wasn't destiny that brought you here.
It was a ship.
Yes, you are here and ahead of schedule because of me. I expect you to obey. You face your trials,
Oh, I
you
could
serve
beat him
me,
easy.
and I will make you the most powerful
He's so
acolyte
short.
here.
And he's weedy.
You had better be able to deliver that, Tremel.
Leave your doubt at the door. There's no room for it in here, and no time to waste. The trials themselves are difficult enough, but they
That's
are
it.
hardly the greatest threat you face. There's an acolyte here named Vemrin. He's your enemy, and he will try to kill you. We must prepare you.
Let him try. I'll destroy him.
With my guidance, someday you'll destroy all your enemies. That practice sword you've arrived with is insufficient. The blade of lesser acolytes. You need a dominating weapon.
I agree.
In the tomb of Ajunta Paul, there's an old armory. A strong Sith warblade awaits you there. The
Hopefully
tomb
there's
is
two
thick
of
with
them.
claw slugs. Deadly savage creatures. Be speedy but careful. They've been the end of many an acolyte.
If they lack the instinct to avoid me, I'll feed them their heads.
Once you acquire the warblade, I suggest you spend some time in the tomb bloodying it. Then come to me in my chambers in the
Sorry for
academy.
the background noise, just have to rearrange my desk a little bit, sorry. There we go. Just claim some login awards. What's that? It's a thing. I don't know what the purple dust is, and I can't use the gifts yet. So it's a bit of a useless reward, but there we go. Right. So, as I said, this is Star Wars and the Old Republic. It is free. That's right, free. You don't have to pay any money for it. It's my favourite kind of thing. It is only on the PC. It's not on. Well, to my knowledge, it's not on any consoles or anything. I might be wrong about that. If I am, I apologise. But I'm fairly confident it is only on PC. I know a lot of games similar to this, like Lord of the Rings Online and Star Trek Online, are now on console, but unfortunately this hasn't followed the trend, which is a shame because it's, of those three that I mentioned, I think this is probably the superior one, and I think it's probably the more popular one as well.
Excuse me, Acolyte.
That
Sergeant
is
Corman,
pure
5th Infantry
speculation,
Company,
though.
Corriban Regiment. Can I talk to you?
Speak freely, Sergeant.
Thank you. You're the Acolyte Overseer Tremel had brought in special, right? Heading down in the tomb to show what you're made of?
Among other
And to
things.
find myself a Sith warblade, apparently.
Well, here's your chance to not only show off for the Overseers, but start building ties to the Imperial military as well. I'm here commanding a hard target mission to exterminate claw slugs in this tomb. They're horrific things. Mouths bigger than your head. I've lost 3 squads of good men fighting them. They come in packs. They'll swallow a man whole.
Your men obviously need better training, Sergeant.
Those men were battle-hardened. The enemy just has more numbers. The damn claw slugs breed so fast there's no way to wipe them out conventionally. So we started targeting their egg chambers. They went insane. We managed
Well,
to
so
get
would you.
explosives to all of the egg chambers, but the claw slugs were all over us before we could detonate them.
I'll finish the job.
Perhaps I could be of assistance.
Don't underestimate those claw slugs, sir. They're smarter than they look.
I doubt it.
No Jedi will be
Right.
able to stand against you.
So, as you level up, you unlock new skills and abilities, and you come to a trainer to collect them. So that's passive, so I don't particularly know what that would do, and I don't particularly care. Sorry about that. That lets me go berserk. Okay. Utilizes a balanced lightsaber form, increases all damage. Oh, she chew one of the lightsaber forms. Interesting.
Remember,
Okay.
peace is a lie.
So if we open up this, we can... Oh, it's passive. Okay, that's fine. I thought maybe it was... Anyway. So we are going through here because we're going to go and kill the core slugs and detonate the explosives. There we go. Yes, there's lots of things that I really like about this game. Obviously the music is all brilliant, but you can't hear that. Which is a shame, but that's just how these things work out. A lot of it is recycled from the movies, so you know it's all either John Williams or John Williams inspired. And if you know anything about me, you'll know that I absolutely love anything written by John Williams. I also really like the voice acting and the art style. You know, it isn't they aren't the greatest graphics in the world, but they don't need to be. You know, they do what they're meant to do, and when you're having a discussion with someone, you can see how their face is changing, and you can sort of get expressions from them, and it's just, for when it was made, I think it's very good, and I very much enjoy it. I also really like the set design as well. Set design's not quite the right word, but I think you know what I mean. You know, they've got a lot of... You can't tell quite so much here, but when you're inside a building and you're walking through the corridors, it's got lots of consoles with all sorts of data on it that's, you know, essentially meaningless, but it all looks like it has a purpose. It's sort of like that. There was the comic strip, wasn't there? And I can't think who did it or what paper it was in, but it was the cows, and they had a bench full of tools. And it was originally meant to be like this joke, like, why would cows have tools? But people took it to be this this commentary on how if you don't know what if you don't know what a civilization is doing, you wouldn't understand its tools and stuff like that. sorry for that. If you watched any of my streams before, you'll know that that's my Alexa device. It keeps trying to make me go to bed at a reasonable time, but there is a reason I'm called the Nocturnal Nerd. Oh, cutscene. There's only one. That's annoying. Oh, I wonder what I'm going to have to do with all these robots around me. Yes, I accept. And I equip. Let's try out this rage thing, shall we? There we go. Decided not to lock on there, don't really like that. Just like that. Oh, I have some mail, so I'll check that when I get in to the Sith Academy. Sorry, I'm sort of not quite concentrating on what I'm saying. I'll start that thought again. I've got some mail, as you can see from the top of my screen. Got 2 bits of mail, so I can check that when I get to the Sith Academy in a moment, and there should be a mailbox there. One of those, sorry, I'm now looking around because there's another 2 droids in here that I'm supposed to be beating up. One of those pieces of mail will be asking me to sorry, start that again. One of those pieces of mail will be a welcome gift, which will be a title to go above my character's head. The other one will be some bits of armour, which I was supposed to get on my way out of the shuttle bay before I headed here, but I forgot. So when I get there, because I've already picked up a few bits and bobs, there might be what's the word? Oh, what's the word? Useless. They might be useless. It's not the word I wanted, but it's good enough. Redundant. They might be redundant. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Let's help this guy out. That's the other thing, if you... I should have said about it before I jumped in. But, what I get quite annoyed about with these sort of, you know, MMO games is when you're minding your own business and then suddenly someone runs past you being followed by 50 enemies, and they aggro onto you instead of them. But you can see here they've got grey health bars. That means that someone else has aggroed them, and they'll focus on them, not you. So unless you
I
attack
heard the
them, they
explosions when you set
completely
off the
ignore you.
charges. Outstanding, sir.
I am an outstanding individual. Yeah, so that's just something I really like, because it means that I'm not running around having to fight other people's
You desire
battles
more power.
unless I want
Good.
to. Smashes up to 8 enemies within 5 meters. Awesome, I'll take it.
Remember, peace is a lie.
I don't really know what this one does, to be honest. Instantly generating 4 rage, plus 8 additional rage over the next for a few seconds. But I don't know what rage does. I think perhaps at some point I unlock an ability that means the more rage I have, the stronger an attack is or something. but it doesn't really mean anything to me at the moment. Another thing about this game that I find really quite helpful is that you can open your map and then as you're walking it goes see-through. Well, not see-through, it's partially transparent. And it just means that, well, it just makes it easier to navigate. It's also a really easy map to read anyway. I know some maps can be a bit annoying to try and figure out. That didn't work. Lock on! There we go. Oh, pardon me, I apologise. So one thing I said when we started was about the subscription. Now obviously whenever I hear the term subscription, the first thing I think is, great, it's going to be another play to win game, which is just something that really annoys me. I don't get why they exist. But actually, I've never paid for anything in this game, and I don't think I've ever been particularly hindered by it. This early on in the game, it's just cosmetic things that you can get. There are a couple of abilities that you can pay to unlock early. So for example, at level 10 you unlock Sprint, which allows you to run faster. You can pay to get that early, or level 20 you unlock the ability to ride around on speeders. You can unlock that early, but to be honest, that's not something that's necessary. No, it doesn't really make that much of a difference to gameplay. It just means you take an extra 10 minutes to get where you want to go. I'm never bothered with that, and the rest is just cosmetic. Where the difference comes in play game mechanics wise is when you get to level, I want to say it's level 30, it might be level 40, you get a notification to say that your XP has been reduced, so you're going to earn less XP for everything you do. Whereas if you were paying a subscription, you get more XP for now, when I very first played this game, I managed to get myself to a point where I was 10 levels below where I was supposed to be for the story mission, and so that was a bit of an issue. But actually, playing it since, I found if you're doing all of the side quests, which I do, and if you're doing, if you're attacking anyone you come across rather than just gating around them, then you're normally ahead of where you need to be anyway. I mean, my next mission, when I go and get it here, I think I'm supposed to be level 2 to complete that mission, so I'm already 2 levels ahead where I need to be. My bounty hunter that I showed you at the beginning of the episode, she's 10 levels ahead, and that's after the cap. So, yeah, it's not... I've never found it to be a hindrance. Let's just see what this wants from us, sorry. Okay, right, so this doesn't make much of a difference now, it will at level 10, but you can pick which of the 3 disciplines you want to focus on. So, mine are damage, damage, or damage. But we'll quickly pick now, so that you can see. We've got a choice between Annihilation, Breathe Foe, blah blah blah. So I can either summon a Dark Force power to build 3 rage and red target, causing it to bleed for 119 thermal damage over 6 seconds. I then can rupture them and then annihilate them at level 42. Right, then Carnage is impales the target with both lightsabers, dealing lots of damage. Strikes them both weapons. 2 stacks of ferocity, lasting up to 10 seconds. Don't know what that means particularly, but there we go. Unleashes powerful blast of force, or blast them with force, a jumping attack. I think I'm going to go for Annihilation. If nothing else, because it's the one that sounds coolest. But that won't really change anything until I get to... Oh, how do I get rid of that? That won't really change anything until I get to level 10. Which I won't do on this stream.
I have taken care of your problem with the looters in the tomb.
Ah, then I'll assume my men are dead. Even so, you have done us a great service. Their loss is your gain, I suppose.
That's that.
I have completed my task then.
Yes, sir.
Ah, this guy here, he is... I don't know whether he'll be mine as well. No, he won't. So he is the companion for the Inquisitor class. So they unlock him at level 10. I have already seen the companion for the what's the class for my class, but I'm not going to show you them just because I might get that far, and it can be a bit of a surprise. Okay, so these are, that's the armor that I was talking about. I'll show you that in a sec, and that's the title. So if we open up our inventory and our character sheet, close that because it's not important. So we've now got our title. I'm not going to equip it though because I think it's a bit lame. Right, and then inside these we have our basically pilot's uniform. So I'm not going to take out the helmet, but I'm going to take out anything that's better than what I've already got equipped. And then I'm just going to delete the rest because it's not worth anything. But this has brought me to another point that I like about this game, is that, have you ever played an RPG and you've just put on the best armor you can find and realised that none of it matches and you look like an idiot? Well, with this button here, I can change everything to the same colour as my torso, so it just goes a bit together a bit better. That actually looks better. They look better when they're not the same colour. But yeah, it's just later on you end up with like things that are bright green and bright blue and bright red, and you just look and a bit of a pillock. But no longer. Right, who is this? Assistant Overseer Lown.
Acolyte, I come with a message.
Ooh.
Overseer Tremel can teach you the ways of the Sith, but not all of the skills. For that, there are specialists in the Academy.
Yes.
Overseer Tremel wishes you to meet them and learn what you can.
I'm gonna flirt.
Pure blood in your veins gives you a very attractive coloring.
To even touch a pure-blood woman, you must prove that the Sith run strong through your muddied veins. A Sith woman only respects power. Go. Someday you may learn enough to impress me. If not, kill me. You will find the best trainers in the Academy's archive. You are expected there shortly.
I'm gonna say, no matter who I'm playing and who I'm talking to, if the option flirt comes up, I tend to go for it. Unless it's someone that like physically makes me sick because they're such a horrible person, I will always go for it. I love this. Sorry, I love the fact I think it only happens with the warrior class, but when you walk through the Dark Corner Guard bow at you, it's just something I really like. Sorry, got sidetracked. Yeah, so if it comes up with the option to flirt with someone, 95% of the time I'll go for it. No matter who I'm playing, no matter who I'm talking to. Just because, I don't know, they're either, you know, quite interesting things to watch, or 95% of the time they're really,
But you could be
what's the word? They're really cheesy or horrible. Sweeping slash, awesome. And yeah, go for it.
Show no mercy.
The other thing that I'll say about choices, so what you'll find is there'll be a lot of decision choices you have to make. So like the ones we saw there, but like decide your actions.
Hey there, Acolyte. Hold on a moment.
I'll finish after
Let me get a
this.
look at you. So you're Overseer Tremel's secret weapon. Impressive, to be sure. Afraid the old man waited too long to make his move, though. I'm Vemrin, and unlike you, I've fought and bled for everything I have. I demand respect.
Okay, so you've got your options 1, 2, 3. Sometimes they will have marks next to them to say that they're either the good option or the bad option, and then you gain points. You gain evil points if you do dark side points. Sorry, you gain dark side points if you do the evil thing, and light side points if you do the good thing. I tend to ignore these, and if I'm playing as a Sith, I just do what I think is going to be the most evil thing to do, because sometimes, you know, it's not quite as clear cut as the developers want you to think it is. The other thing that sometimes happens is when you've got a companion, certain dialogue choices and certain actions they'll either approve with or disapprove with, and then that affects your relationship with them. I'm going to say back off.
You don't want to make me angry, Vemrin. Believe it or not, I'm trying to keep you from getting killed.
Doubt
If
it.
Overseer Tremel had made his move a year ago when I first arrived, you might have had a chance. But now, too little, too late.
This is ridiculous, Vemrin. Let's just kill him and hide the body.
We're not on Balmorra anymore, Dolgus. There are rules, traditions. We'll leave the shortcuts to Overseer Tremel and his last pathetic hope here.
Prepared to
I'm
be
going
crushed.
to take what's yours, and then I'm going to kill you. You have no idea the enemy you're making.
I
Coming,
don't
Dolgus?
particularly care.
Be right there,
I mean,
Vemrin.
you've got a big cross scar on your face, which suggests that you let someone hit you
Listen
twice.
to me, you useless priss. Acolytes aren't allowed to murder each other. But accidents happen. It isn't murder without witnesses. No more warnings. Vemrin's the alpha monster here. You go after Vemrin, you die.
You know, That was almost threatening.
Good. You've returned. You seem to be in one piece. Tell me, how do you like your new blade?
I suppose this is sufficient.
What are you doing, Father? I only just got my warblade and I've been here 6 months.
I have
You've
my
also got
reasons,
3
Escala,
scars down your face.
and you will not breathe a word of this to anyone. Do you hear?
Yes. Yes, Father.
Acolyte, this is Escala, my daughter. She's one of the advanced students here, on her way to becoming Sith, if she minds herself.
I'll keep quiet about your new charge, Father. But I won't be there if whatever you're planning blows up in your face.
Don't mind her, she's just sore that I'm keeping secrets. She growls, but she's loyal. Now, I thought I heard Vemrin's voice in the adjacent chamber before you arrived. Did he make his move so soon?
Yeah, I hate him already. I look forward to ending his miserable existence.
If
Well
things
said.
go well, you will have that satisfaction someday. Still, I'd hoped we'd have more time. Vemrin's not the type to sniff around for too long before trying to take a bite. In a drive for sheer numbers, the criteria for Academy admittance has been relaxed. Now anyone with Force sensitivity is allowed entrance. Vemrin is mixed blood, the invisible rot eating at the foundation of the Empire. He must not be allowed to advance.
So stop him yourself.
Unfortunately, Vemrin's caught the eye of Darth Barris, one of the most influential Sith Lords. He's being groomed to be Barris's new apprentice. As Darth Barris's apprentice, the power at Vemrin's fingertips will be considerable. He could change the Sith for the worse. You must proceed to your next trial immediately. I want you to interrogate 3 prisoners in the Academy jails and decide their fates. Consider each criminal's story carefully. The decisions you make will be scrutinized, so let your passions guide your judgments.
You'd better send someone to clean up after me.
The slave pens are right there. They have mops. Go to the Academy prison. Speak to head jailer Nash and return to me after you've passed judgment on the prisoners.
So, just to explain my comments earlier, I always find, I know some people like it because it makes it look like their character's well built and stuff like that. I always find scars on characters, especially when you've created the character, to be a bit silly, because it just suggests that that person is prone to accidents to me. Yeah. Okay, so there's a similar mission to this one in the Inquisitor pathway, which I did for my last stream, that didn't air. And after watching that back, I do feel like I should, just say my decisions are based on my character in the game and not my personal
One more
ideologies.
chirp from you, little bird, and you'll regret it.
Chirp, chirp, chirp. Ow, jerk. If you don't like that, just say so. I can do other animals too. Dire cat, frog dog, waking monkey lizard, you name it.
You, I'm Jailer Nash. I run these cells and slave pits. You're the acolyte Tremel sent for the test, right? He thinks highly of you.
Skip the
Let's cut
pleasantries.
to the chase.
No skin off my rump. Now, these 3 prisoners have been transferred here for your inspection. You gotta interrogate them as needed, and then decide their fate. The convicted are usually executed, or given a trial by combat to see if they're worthy. Whatever you decide, you will be the one to carry out the sentence.
I was hoping this would keep me entertained.
Fine. Let's get started. This one on the left.
You freaks aren't getting anything new out of me. Just do whatever you're gonna do.
I can be reasonable.
You can either talk to me or to the Inquisitors, and I promise I have a much sunnier disposition.
I don't.
Get lost. I've been through this routine. I already know all your Inquisitors by name.
Impudent to the last. As I was saying, she was sent to kill an Imperial spy in the Yavin system. Throughout her torture, she maintained that she was hired anonymously.
Get it through your damn head! I had no idea he was Imperial, and I don't know who hired me.
Tell me about the killing.
Regale me with the details of your operation. What was your chosen form of murder?
I didn't kill him. I was caught before I could pull it off.
The point is, she doesn't deny the charge. So now you must decide. Execution or trial by combat. Which do you choose?
Needs assassins, arm her or kill her. I'm just gonna kill her.
She deserves to die. I'll kill her where she stands.
Be my guest.
Just get it over with.
She faced her death well.
Too
That
bad
seems
she
like a
didn't
Sith
beg.
thing to say.
Please, I am a fellow Sith. Spare me the assassin's ignoble fate. Grant me a trial by combat, I beg you.
Pipe down, scum. You will speak when spoken to.
This part of Waste is Davotech, once a valued Sith champion, until he botched an important mission and caused 1,000 Imperial deaths. Now look at him.
I served faithfully for 24 years. Then one mistake, and they threw me away. Now I have been left here to rot. Please, let me feel the weight of a weapon once more.
See, the thing is, he wants to fight me. So I'm not going to give him the satisfaction.
Work. Feel the weight of a weapon in your throat.
I die a disgrace.
There is no mercy.
Good. I won't have to look at his sad, weathered face anymore. Thank you.
You shouldn't
And he
talk.
won't have to look at yours either, jailer.
Ah, well, this last prisoner's a bit of a puzzle. He's called Breg, and he's a jittery little wretch, suspected of supplying forged documents to Republic agents. Strangely enough, he maintains his innocence, despite being severely tortured.
That's because innocent I am, believe me, you gotta. I had nothing to do with forging no papers. Set up, I was set up. I'm not buying
Your
it.
ramblings are falling on deaf ears. Confess and the torture will stop.
Many things I've done in my life that I'm not proud of, but Breg's not gonna confess to something Breg didn't do. Did some time I did in a Republic jail for forgery, so I was the perfect candidate to implicate on this. But straight I've been since getting out, I swear.
Ah, he's never wavered from that line. And the evidence is circumstantial. I suppose it's actually possible he didn't do it. So, what do you decide?
Bleed
I
until
don't
we
care if
relent.
he's innocent or not. Torture him enough and he'll confess.
Not fair, just not fair.
Shut up, you fidgety fool. The decision's been made. Well, that's that. You're an interesting one, kid. I can see why people are keeping tabs on you. Head back to Overseer Tremel. See what he thinks of your choices.
So, and I don't remember any. I know I said I played this storyline before, but that was when it first came out, so I don't remember any of this. I would say that he's going to complain about the first one and say that I should have hired her to be a spy, or an assassin, or whatever it was. He's going to agree with the second one, and I don't know about the last one. But to be honest, I don't particularly care about his opinion, so...
Is this everything?
Everything Lord Renning was able to obtain, yes.
Then run back to your master in the beast pens before I cut you in half. Sorry to make you wait, Acolyte. These interruptions are incredibly annoying. On to the business at hand, your test in the jails. First, the assassin, Solentz. She attempted to kill an Imperial spy, but was unaware of her client's affiliation. You killed her in cold blood. Why?
She failed her assignment. I do not abide failures.
No, but you can always turn someone's failure into personal profit.
See?
Never waste a potential resource. A trained assassin who demonstrated fortitude and amorality. The Empire could have utilized her skills. Now, Devotek, the former warrior, he wanted combat, but you struck him down. Perfect. The man was utterly useless.
I do not ever choose to waste my time.
Once something is used up, it should be eradicated. Lastly, the forger you sent back for more torture even though he seemed innocent. A strong decision. Leave no stone unturned.
I pay attention.
The ripple from even a tiny stone can flow a great distance.
Well, look who just turned deep and insightful. It's always best to know beyond any doubt. After all, what is one man's sanity or life versus the fate of the Empire? You're beginning to understand what it means to be Sith, but you're far from being able to impress Darth Barris.
I'm not worried about impressing Barris.
Impress him, or die. Those are really the only choices you have. Because I forced you into the Academy ahead of schedule, Darth Barris will be predisposed to judging you severely. And by severely, I mean fatally. Now, we must hurry to your next trial. Every moment that passes, we risk discovery before we're ready. In the caverns of Mark Aragnos is the beast he left to guard his legacy. Go there, sit among the flames, and wait for the beast to come for you.
Sounds like a good opportunity for violence.
Hold nothing back. This creature is doom itself. Return to the Valley of the Dark Lords, and find the tomb of Mark Aragnos. I'll see you when the beast is slain. Good luck.
Yes, another weapon. Let's go. I'm just going to turn the chat off, just because I don't really think we need to see all of that. Down here, and watch as they bow to me. Does he bow as well? No, he's disrespectful. Yeah, go on, I'll do the side mission.
Stand and account for yourself, Acolyte. Let's see what you're made of. I look at you, and I wonder, are you among the truly loyal, or do you hide treason in your heart?
I am heir to a great Sith bloodline. How dare you even ask such a question of me?
I do what the Emperor commands me to. Your special heritage does not place you above suspicion, nor should it. Intelligence reports indicate this valley shelters traitors. Acolytes who seek to destroy our Emperor's carefully built order and replace it with their own weak-minded heresies.
They hide among the faithful and obedient. But make no mistake, they will destroy us all, given the chance.
We've watched as the traitors scuttle about this valley and plot against us. We know their faces and their names. It is the Emperor's will that the sands of Korriban be slaked with the blood of these traitors. Prove your allegiance by executing them.
It would be a great honor to serve you, my lord.
And in serving me, you serve the Emperor. Remember that, as you exterminate those vermin in the valley.
I'll give you the means to identify the traitors. Eliminate enough of them to prove your loyalty. Then return to Inquisitor Arzanan.
I'll be watching your progress with great interest. Go now. See that the Emperor's will be done.
Right, so I've got to go and scan some acolytes, and if the device goes beep boop, then I slit their throats. Easy peasy. It's not one of them. Beep boop beep boop. That's one. Beep boop beep boop boop beep beep. I think it will just be ones that are on their own, but I'll have a look around all the same. That's one. There we go. Let's try him. Beep 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 beep. Give him a scan. Nice. There we go. Now we return to the Inquisitor. I've just had thoughts. Give me one moment, sorry. No, that's fine. I was worried that my
I watched you deal with
picture
those
in the
traitors.
bottom was blocking
Well
my
done.
map.
That was an impressive display of loyalty. Take this reward as a token of the Emperor's favor, and wear this badge. It marks you as a defender of our empire.
Stay vigilant. Our enemies lurk where you least expect them.
Gonna sneeze. Oh, I think it's passed. Just a possible earphone warning, because I may sneeze at some point. Okay, so this is the taxi system.
At your service, my lord.
It is one of the fast travel.
Travel route is confirmed.
One of the two fast travel facilities in the game. The other one being a actual quick travel, which I'll show you in a minute. It's a quick travel, which takes you to anywhere where the quick travel consoles are, and I'll show you a quick travel console in a second. Over here. These are the quick travel what's and flips, and if you unlock it then you can travel there, and I think there's a 2-minute cooldown on the quick travel, so it's not too bad. I try to avoid using it where I can, just because it sounds silly but it feels a bit like cheating.
A fresh
But I
young
might use
acolyte
it
come to view
during
my
this
experiments.
just to
Good. I trust the sight of a messy operating
cut
table
out
doesn't
any
disturb you.
long journeys that aren't very interesting. It doesn't
I
just
have
have
no
movement
fear
at all.
of dead things.
All fine and good, but lack of fear and genuine interest are not the same. This used to be a Tukata, the hound-like creatures infesting Korriban's tombs. On the surface, nothing special. But I alone can see this creature is an expression of pure dark side energy. Aggression made manifest.
Your ego is overinflated.
I have gazed into the depths of the abyss and found revelations there others only dream of. The Force is alive. It expresses its will in the physical world. This Tukata was one such form.
What does that make us?
Are we another of these forms?
Sith are the highest manifestation of the Force's will. I've dissected hundreds of Tukata, forging a direct connection to the dark side. Each beast I examine advances me toward perfect unity. I now stand at a new frontier, but find myself thwarted. My most perfect specimen, a Tukata mutant, escaped to the tombs before I could analyze it.
Oh well.
The galaxy is a harsh place.
You don't understand. I've lost a vital key to unlocking the dark side's true essence. You acolytes delve those tombs on your trials. You could hunt that Tukata for me and retrieve its perfect brain. My apprentice, Melora, saw which tomb the mutant beast fled into. Find out what she knows, assist me, and you will be rewarded.
Why
Why
can't
not
she
send
go?
your apprentice to recover this beast?
She's more suited to the laboratory than the tombs.
So she's weak.
She lacks your fire, I'm afraid. Ask Melora where to seek the Tukata, and return to me when you have its brain.
Seeking Lord Renning's lost pet, are you? Don't waste your time. That fool's research is pointless.
I stalk a deadly beast, not some harmless vermin.
That may be, but you still risk your life for nothing. Renning deludes the Dark Council into believing he's advancing Sith knowledge. The truth is, he wastes the Empire's time and resources dissecting mindless animals. But if his experiments were discredited, he would be banished, and I would be rewarded.
So
Tell the Dark Council he's insane. I'm sure they'd listen.
Don't be naive. The Dark Council would never believe the word of an apprentice over her master. Look, just a minor alteration to the mutant Tukata's brain would allow me to reveal my master as a fraud. Bring me the brain before delivering it to Lord Renning, and I'll make it worth your while.
That may be
I
possible.
might be interested.
Perfect. Then we have an agreement. The mutant Tukata escaped to the tomb of Mark of Ragnos. It's much larger than the others, so it's easy to spot. Return to me with the brain before you see Lord Renning, and I'll take care of the rest.
Right, so there we have been given a choice. And one choice will be a good choice, and one will be the bad choice. And it just... yeah, it's giving you the ability to choose what happens to the characters, which is nice. Standard MMORPG stuff. I'll let you guess which is a good choice and which is a bad choice. It shouldn't be too difficult. And I'll decide what I'm going to actually do in a minute. When I've actually got the brain. Right. I feel like I should know why I'm attacking Imperial troops, but I've sort of forgotten, so... okay. That stupid slug. Which way am I supposed to be going? Is it this way? Get back! Come on! Hitting the wrong button. It was my fault, not the game. Okay, so now we're going down here. Ooh, a chest. Let's open it. Yes, please. Oh, no, my inventory's full. Let's put those on. And then they're probably worthless. Echo! Shut up! Sorry for that. I need to change its wake word to something that it's not going to keep picking up. Get up. There we go. Oh, I can't pick it up because my inventory's full. Chuck that away. I should have gone to a vendor, but I forgot, so I didn't. But when I go into the tomb of Marco Ragnos, there'll probably be a medical droid nearby, and they count as a vendor, so I can show you how that system works. Just looking at the time, we're about an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm thinking maybe when there's half an hour left, or maybe 20 minutes, I might swap over to my mercenary account and just show you a couple of the features that come in later on in the game. I haven't decided on that yet. I'm gonna see how we go. Slave beast. Oh, blimey. He's big un. To be honest, I wanted to at least get my proper lightsabers before I... Sorry, I just need to chuck something else away. I wanted to at least get some proper lightsabers before I ended the stream. We'll just see how we go. Because it's been a while since I've played a Jedi or a Sith, but if memory serves, the lightsabers are quite customizable, so you can change the colour of crystals and all sorts. I think you might be able to change the level of phase in it as well, so you can have it like a really neat lightsaber blade, or it can be like all I can only think of the word bumpy, but like it's not properly sealed and done together. It's like Kylo Ren's blade. It's not like perfectly smooth. It sort of fluctuates, that's the word. It fluctuates. Just gonna heal. So all of the classes have a different healing function. They've had it from the very beginning. Mine is on the equal button at the moment. That's where they tend to be placed when you start the game. And they all do the same thing. They take 15 seconds, and then basically all your stats return to normal at the end. But it's sort of progressive, so you can leave it halfway through the process. That's what I did there. And then they're all made to look like different things that your class would do. So I think both Jedi classes have basically they get down and meditate. The Inquisitor's Seed, they sort of pace around looking angry. Mine is Channel Hatred at the moment. And then the bounty hunters and stuff like that, they do like reloading their pistols and testing out their flamethrowers, that sort of stuff. Right, as promised, I will now show off the quick travel. So we simply click quick travel, and then we are going to the field research area. And here we are. Just like that. This game does have full damage. That's something I should say. Whenever I don't know about you guys, but whenever I start a new game, first thing I do is think, does it have full damage, and then jump off a cliff to find out. So I have a choice. I can either give the brain to the apprentice so she can tamper with it, or I can just give it straight to the Sith Lord. I'm going to give it straight to him.
I'm running out of patience. Have you finally acquired the mutant Tukata brain, or should I send someone else?
Here's the
I
brain.
have what you asked for.
Evil.
Ha! Wonderful. Let me see it.
Your beast died much too easily.
Then I release you back to the killing fields. May you find greater fulfillment there. You've done an impressive job, young alien. I have no qualms about rewarding your effort.
Let's tell him
Melora asked me to sabotage your experiment.
Is that so?
Killer.
Melora, if you can't show my work the appreciation it deserves, there's no place for you as my apprentice.
Wait, Master. It's a lie. I haven't betrayed you.
I know the truth when I hear it, Melora. I'm releasing you from my service. Eventually.
No, Sith! Please! Stop! No!
My dear, the pain for you is only beginning.
That's my
Take
evil
your
laugh.
reward
It
and
needs some
leave.
work.
Melora and I have much to discuss.
I
You
deserve a
should
bonus.
reward me for exposing this traitor.
Eliminating an enemy of the Sith Empire is its own reward. Go now.
Right. Oh, I can't accept the reward. Okay, so this is a good thing to show. When you can't accept the reward, you look up here, and there's a mission pending, and it stores all of your mission rewards for you until you can make room in your inventory, which is a nice function. Just in time. Jump. You, Mr. Taxi Man. Take me back to the academy.
The route is confirmed.
Why is he going faster than me? It's just inappropriate. It's wrong. That's what it is. It's wrong. Okay, so we're just going to run over here so I can show you the vendors and get rid of some of my what's my flips items. So he's an arms vendor.
I've got the best hardware and the best prices.
So we're just going to click sell junk. That gets rid of most of it. We don't need these anymore. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need those.
Good hunting.
So obviously there is an option to buy armor and weapons, all different kinds. I sort of go for the same sort of idea as I would with with all other MMOs. In that I tend to find that you buy something and then you go and use it and immediately find something better. So I just don't bother buying anything. If I go for like 2 whole game sessions, that looks a bit stupid, but it does stuff for the armor, so I'll go with it. Yeah, I normally, if I go for like 2 whole gaming sessions without getting any new equipment, I might consider buying something. But to be honest, it's not really worth it most of the time. I know some people would disagree, but I don't care.
Look who's here. Remember me?
What do you want?
Get to the point.
Vemrin thought I should follow up on our earlier discussion. Notice anything interesting? No witnesses. No witnesses means no rules. No more
That's not how it
shortcuts.
works.
No more special treatment. You're just going to be another dead failure on Korriban.
Kill. Weakling.
No! Hold up, hold up. Look, I was wrong. What they're saying about you, totally true. So, strong. I don't want to die.
Then buy your
I'm
life.
afraid it's a little late for begging. What will you give me to let you live?
Here, I've got a few credits. Take them.
Thanks for
fool.
making that easy. You saved me the trouble of looting your corpse.
I failed you, Vemrin.
He's gonna have a go at me for killing someone. But I mean, he came out of your office. It's sort of your fault.
We must speak quickly, Acolyte. There isn't much time. I may have made a slight miscalculation. The beast of Markaragnos was a great source of dark energy here on Korriban. When it was slain, there was a tremor in the Force. Darth Barris felt that tremor and has become aware of you. He demands an audience.
So you're an idiot.
Good. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
After meeting him, you may find yourself wishing you had more time to prepare. Barris is a serious man, but a master of deception. Everything he does and says is calculated. He will attempt to trip you up, test your nature, get to the heart of who you are. Always take him seriously. And I mean always.
You worry too much, Tremel.
I just wish we'd had a little more time. We might not speak again, Acolyte. You're the best chance of stopping Vemrin. If you fail, I doubt there will be another strong enough. Good luck. Meet Darth Barris in his chambers, and hurry. He won't take kindly to waiting.
Ooh, more stuff. Okay, so let's quit those. And let's click for all of these to match. Is it me, or do I look like I've attached some a belt and some armor to a pair of pajamas? Oh, it's doing a... sorry. Right, this happens sometimes in that it... there we go. Sometimes it locks in auto walk. If it does that for you, you go, hot tip for if you play this game and it forces you to auto walk. All you need to do is press either W and S down together or forward and back down together, depending on
yet another
which one
acolyte
you're
stands
not
in the
using.
shadow of our academy. You must consider yourself privileged. Tell me, you who would be Sith, have you seen much of our civilization so far? Have you been awed by this world's power and glory?
Not really.
All I've seen is dust and tombs. Not very impressive.
Then you have not been blinded by your master's claims. Korriban was wrought by the true-blooded Sith millennia ago. Our ancestors, a crimson race of conquerors, raised the statues around us. Over the eons, however, our people mingled with slaves. Now the red markings of true Sith are rare, and the purity of this planet is in question.
And what about me? Are you doubting my purity?
No, you are young. It is your masters who concern me. True purity and strength are carried in the blood. I worry that our blood is being diluted over generations. In the Emperor's name, I have come to learn whether the Academy's overseers are Sith or not. You will be my instrument.
I would be more than proud to help.
It is a glorious opportunity. I possess an ancient device, a holocron, that can read and record bloodlines. It will pulse with life near the overseers. Allow the holocron to fulfill its purpose. Stand near the overseers as it attunes to their blood purity. Then return here, and I will learn the truth.
Let's go. Right, so I know they said not to make the guy wait, but I'm going to. Because this is closer.
Not you. Not yet. You are not ready for my test.
She has been scanned. Right, so this is actually where I got to in my failed stream. Well, I think... I'm just trying to remember. Yeah, I think I finished this side mission. And we've
The
still got
Force
half
is
an
a
hour to go, so...
I will show you how to wield it.
Ooh, a scream. A lightsabre ward and a ravage. Interesting. Okay.
Show no mercy.
I've now been warded. Oh, he's got a cape. He must be important. That's how it works in Star Wars. Capes equal important unless you're Lando Calrissian. Capes equals important, and hooded robes or sat in a armchair equals even more important. That's just how it works. The other two people I have to scan, I believe, are outside. So I'm gonna go to Darth Barris first. Gonna crack some jokes.
Tina. I believe that's the one.
Really? All right. Hey, you!
Careful, Tino.
Come on, I'm antsy for some action. You there? Are you the big shot they're all talking about? The one who's been personally summoned by Darth Barris himself?
That's me.
News sure does travel fast.
Please pardon my over-eager friend. It's just that we've heard so much about you.
And we want to get in good with you.
Tino, what my blunt partner here means is that if you need anything or anyone, say, dealt with, we'd like you to consider us.
She's talking about Vemrin. We'll kill him for you.
Sorry, I should have had Tino muzzled. So, what do you say? We know Vemrin tried to have you killed. Would you like him eliminated?
That would be tricky.
Something like this would have to be handled delicately.
Of course. We completely understand. There are rules. Acolytes are not to openly kill one another. Everyone knows of your rivalry. If you kill him, the Lords will presume your guilt.
But if Vemrin croaks while you get an alibi, people might be suspicious, but they won't be able to pin it on you. See?
Consider
I wouldn't
me
be
not
upset
dead.
if Vemrin turns up dead.
Say no more. Go about your business. We'll handle this with utter discretion.
What does this mean, Fine?
It means Vemrin is a dead man, and we're going to have the most potent of allies.
So, my guess is they'll all be dead
Most
by
of
the
you
end of the
will
week.
not return from this endeavor. If you die, you will be forgotten. If you give up, you will be killed. No, out of my sight.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
You should. This is the end of the line for you, Clemrel. Just make sure you stay out of my way.
Look here, Vemrin. I see the upstart, but no sign of Dolgus.
Clemrel, Vemrin, you have been dismissed.
Yes, Master.
I underestimated you by sending Dolgus. It will not happen again.
Are you having trouble with Acolyte Vemrin, supplicant?
If he insists on getting in my face like that, he's gonna have trouble with me.
He has been hardened into a lethal machine. Vemrin has paid his dues. He's fought a deck stacked against him to get here. You, on the other hand...
Good for him.
Let me get a closer look at you. Yes, as I suspected. Overseer Tremel has done you and this academy a great disservice. Your warblade came early. Prisoners flown in for your convenience. Even a beast here on Korriban instead of off-world in the wild. The pacing of the trials is deliberate. Only full immersion over time produces results. Your mind is soft, unhoned, undisciplined.
I disagree, emphatically.
The first month of trials should be dedicated to philosophy, conceptual tactics, understanding of the Sith Code.
Boring.
Recite the Sith Code for me, Acolyte, and explain its meaning in battle, war, and politics.
Sure, give me a minute. Well, you see there's the dark side, the light side, and there you have it.
Pathetic. I can read the lie from a nascent Force user with my eyes closed. I am your master now. Tremel was becoming lax before you ever arrived. His unwillingness to adapt to the evolving Sith paradigm has become a liability. These are the actions of a traitor. Traitors are executed. I grant you immunity from punishment. Kill Tremel and bring back his hand as proof.
It will be my extreme pleasure.
Now, leave. I'm sure Tremel is still in his chambers. Don't return until you've killed him.
Should be easy enough. Oh. There we go. That one had never happened to me before. I've never been stuck spinning. But it's the same solution as being stuck walking, except you just press the sideways arrows or A and D. I don't think it's a bug so much as I'm accidentally pressing the toggles for auto walk or something without noticing it.
I didn't expect to see you again so soon. Has Barris sent you back to me?
I'm here to kill you.
Then I have been outplayed. Barris has the authority, but I did not think he would do something this overt. Either I die, or he forces me to kill you, and to destroy my own plan. A master stroke. Very well, you have your orders, Acolyte. Know that it gives me no pleasure to kill you.
Let's get this out of the way.
I'll try to make your end quick and painless. It's the least I can do.
Don't let me do anything. There we go.
No. I'm amazed. I knew you were strong in the Force, but not like this. You're more than ready to challenge Vemrin. Barris won't be able to deny that now. He'll have the satisfaction of my death. But I die knowing my success. Go ahead. End this.
You are my greatest kill to date. I will rejoice in your blood.
Farewell, Acolyte. The purity of the Sith lies with you.
Weakling. Let's go. I don't think he was hateful enough to be a Sith. I think I am probably now going to be hunted down by his daughter. But there we go. Oh, I should have gone the other way when I came up the stairs. Instead I've just gone like the whole way around the balcony. It's fine, it's all good.
What's this? The Acolyte returns, and with a bloodied weapon. I assume this means Tremel is no more. Give me his hand. Here, take this one ring as a memento. Remembering the past can strengthen resolve and embolden the spirit. I am impressed you had the fortitude to destroy him. You know he thought of you as family. How did it feel to betray him?
Great.
It was a day I will long remember. I savored it completely.
Good. Feast on that. Not every kill will be as meaningful. You have taken your first step to understanding the Sith Code. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. Through passion, we gain strength. Through strength, we gain power. Through power, we gain victory. And through victory, our chains are broken. The Force shall set us free. By embracing the Code and destroying Tremel, you have freed yourself from his shackles and escaped his fate.
Yes,
You've
sir.
made your point. I understand.
That's more like it. I had a feeling you'd be a fast learner. Now, there are sacred ruins in the tomb of Tulak Horde. The ancient inscriptions that once adorned the walls of each ruin lie in pieces. You will venture through the entire tomb, search all of the ruins, and bring me a shard from each of these inscriptions. You will do this, or you will die. Vemren and my other acolytes have already been sent. There are no rules regarding how they secure the shards, and they will stop at nothing. Fight your way through the tomb of Tulak Horde in the Valley of the Dark Lords, and bring me the shards from each of the ruined shrines.
Roger, roger. Right, so we have a new chess piece. We have a ring. And we have some credits. And we have 22 and a half minutes of stream to go. I won't bother with the trainer now. We'll do that when I come back next. I just want to get as far into this as I can. It'd be nice to, as I say, it'd be nice to get the
I have need of you, young one.
lightsabers and such.
Whatever errand your master sent you on can wait until we are through.
My master would smite you for your impudence.
Then your master is a fool. I am Inquisitor Urinth, and I represent the intelligence operations of the Sith. We are currently holding an important Jedi prisoner, a spy who attempted to reach this academy. We have plans for him. Upon capture, we found the Jedi's mind simple to manipulate. We fed him false memories through a combination of drugs and sorcery. Soon he will return to his Jedi commanders and report the lies we fed him. He will know nothing of what we've done. All that remains is to stage his escape.
Leave that to me.
Good. I'm pleased that you appreciate our project. You are young enough, new enough, to be a plausible traitor. You will go to the Jedi, talk to him, do as he asks, earn his trust. When that is done, set him free. Do whatever is necessary to get him out of prison. We will ensure that he reaches his ship and returns safely to his Jedi friends.
I will accomplish it.
You will find the Jedi Quarian Dorgis in the jail cells. He is still confused and should not be overly difficult to convince.
Let's go. Hello, Mr.
There is no
Jedi.
emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. The Jedi Code will guide me.
I take it you're the Jedi who was captured.
I'm Corian Dorgis. I'm a Jedi. Even here. Even on Korriban. Why do you care? Why are you here?
No one deserves suffering so extreme.
You mean that? A Sith with a conscience. You're here to help me. Why am I talking in circles? What's wrong with me?
The Inquisitors are messing with your mind. They pumped you full of drugs.
I suspected as much. It's so hard to think straight. There's no passion. There's serenity. There's no chaos. There's harmony. The Jedi Code will guide me.
This is why I
can
didn't
focus.
play as a Republic.
If you want to help me escape, I'll need my belongings, my lightsaber, my comlink.
Just
Before
boring.
I was captured, the Sith chased me into the tomb of Tulak Horde. I hid my belongings inside an urn to lighten my load. That is where you'll need to go.
Rightio. I've been playing more Breath Edge, which, if you've watched some my this series before, then you'll know that Breath Edge was one of the very first games I did. I've been playing quite a bit of that the last couple of days, and I keep going to press shift to speed up, which is how you speed up in Breath Edge, and of course nothing happens when I do.
You did well executing the traitors. Your loyalty to our Emperor is without question.
He has been scanned. I don't think I'm going to get the lightsabers in 2 hours. Let's just see how we go. I might extend it past 2 hours a little bit. Oh, it's so far away. This is where things like the sprint and the speeder riders can be of real use, just because it takes so long to get to these distant places. There he is. Scanning. Now I won't interact with it, but you can see I'm circling that box with my mouse. At least I hope you can see me circling it with my mouse. That is a sort of a mission drop-off. So there are what they call heroic missions, which are sort of slightly higher level missions that you can do multiple times for high level rewards. I'm not going to do any of them because they take it. So he gives heroic missions as well. I'm not going to do those because they just take ages. And if I'm going to die, it will be on a heroic mission, and I don't particularly want to have to start anything again. When you do die, you're just sent to the nearest medical centre, or sometimes there's a you can have a medical probe sent to you. Oh, sorry, but it's just one of those things that takes time. And we've got just over 15 minutes left, and I want to get as far as I can. So I may now be rushing a little bit, but I'm sure everything will be fine. Right, so we have a shard from the antechamber. So that's 1 of 3 down. I apologise for the background noise. That's what you get for living on the ground floor of a block of flats. I am sort of skirting past enemies. If I aggro anything, obviously I'll fight it. But as I say, I'm sort of wanting to hurry along a bit, just so I can... My goal is for the end of the stream to have the lightsabers, just because I don't think you can really call yourself the Sith until you have them. Oh. Okay, if you didn't have a chance to read that, basically what it's saying was that the stuff that this Jedi needs has gone missing. So obviously people are taking it. So I just have to sort of kill people until I find the stuff. And knowing my luck, it'll be the guy with the star next to his name, which means that he is an especially tough person. It wasn't too bad. Alright. That's one of them. And we got myself some new boots. New shoes. That's a reference no one will get. It's a reference to my personal life, so I won't discuss it. But just know that if you had the context, it would be very funny. Which side of the room is it? That side. This one. I want to attack this one. That's it. There we go. And that is 2 3 pieces. And as soon as I've found the third one, I'll fast travel back to the temple. Again, just to save some time and make sure that we get through as much as possible. I'm now stuck on a light. There we go. it has just reached midnight. I mean, it won't have reached midnight for you because this will be airing at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it will have just reached 6:50. But for me, it's just reached midnight. This room is empty, which makes me think that perhaps... Oh no, I thought maybe picking that up would trigger something, but it didn't. Now, he said he'd sent his other apprentices, or acolytes, whatever he said it was, before me. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're going to be waiting for me when I go in to steal the stuff from me. So we're going to have another bit of a fight. Here we go, and as we go in... Oh, they're already bowing. Oh, someone stole my moment. That's my favourite thing about walking into the temple.
Step forward. I assume you've completed my task.
Of course.
I will take the holocron now. It is time we judge the purity of your overseer's blood. Time we know how much of the ancients survive in their veins.
I completely agree.
The holocron, it glows white. So little Sith blood in all of the Academy. And only one of the overseers wears the red marks. This is shameful. I will bring this to the attention of the Dark Council. Measures must be taken if the true Sith are to survive.
What exactly is your plan?
I'll advise purges and enslavement of those with the thinnest blood, and uplift the pure. It will be the Dark Council's decision, however. You have served well. It is too late for me to alter your training, but in the future, perhaps acolytes will kneel at the feet of the pure-blooded.
I think he is going to die. I think that will be the result of his conversation with the Dark Council. Okay, let's go and talk to the Jedi.
I know you. We talked before. My head's clearer now, Sith. It's all here. The comlink, my lightsaber, everything I hid. You're going through with it. With all this, once the guards change shifts, I think I can slip out of the Academy. But what about you? Will you be okay?
I am Sith.
Korriban is my home, Jedi filth. I fear nothing here.
I should have remembered that. I apologize for my concern. I still don't understand why you're doing this, but I thank you.
I think it's time that I be going.
As you say, Sith. Thank you again. I'm sorry the Empire took you in instead of the Jedi. If things had been different, maybe you could have been part of the Order.
Well, yeah, but then I'd have to swap things like force lightning and choking people from across the room for animal friendship, and that's about it. Okay. You're in.
So the Jedi is preparing his escape. You did well. Not perfectly, but I have confidence the operation will succeed. Our business is concluded. I will make note of your assistance in my report.
I don't need your praise.
No, I imagine you don't. Take these tokens as payment for your service, and know that no Jedi can threaten Korriban. Now go.
Okay, put on the boots. Open the chest, and let's go up to see Darth Barris. Barras, however it's pronounced. I did it again, didn't I? I went the wrong way around. It's fine. Get there eventually. Here we go.
You did
Confrontation.
it, didn't you? You got the shards from the tomb, and you're on your way back to Lord Barris.
I didn't even break a sweat.
That's all I needed to hear.
Hey, this is the guy that couldn't do what we could. Who could do what we couldn't? I know. Let's attack him. There we go. Looked onto the wrong person.
Stop! I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I tried to get through the tomb, but there were just too many Chirac. I barely escaped. I figured better to ambush you and take your shards. But I see that's just as futile. Vemrin is already inside with Barris. All the other acolytes died. You were my only chance. Now, I'm doomed. I'll never become Sith. Unless I return with the shards, Barris will have me killed.
I'll save Barris the trouble of listening to your whimpering. Die!
I like that little look of shock. I'm gonna get paraded now. Shouldn't have done that. There we go.
The prodigal supplicant returns, and with all the shards from the tomb of Tulak Horde. Superb. It seems your hopes have been dashed, Vemrin.
Appearances can be deceptive.
Excuse Vemrin, supplicant. He didn't take kindly to you turning those young acolytes on him, even though they were only untrained novices.
He should thank me, novices or not. I bet he had his hands full.
The tension is thick between you two, a great source of emotion to feed on. I wonder what will happen when it boils over. You both stand on the precipice of becoming Sith, but only one of you will have the opportunity to claim a special lightsaber and serve as my apprentice. I thought it would be you, Vemrin, but I've changed my mind.
What? I've done everything you've asked. Better than any of the others. The honor should be mine.
Ignore Vemrin, Lord Barris. His world is crumbling around him.
Today, Vemrin is every bit your equal. But the Force is stronger with you, Acolyte. And there is a power sleeping within you. It was a simple decision. Now, Vemrin, go wait in my antechamber for your instructions. This instant. Now, I hope you fathom how fortunate you are to be singled out. If you become my apprentice, the galaxy will bend before you.
I can't wait to start killing.
The lightsaber you will seek is old and powerful. It is housed in a forbidden cavern in the tomb of Nagasadao, where few Sith have ever set foot. Almost no one knows how to find the secret entrance. But there is a Twi'lek in the holding pens who was caught breaking in there.
Who we saw earlier.
I hear she is quite willful. Take her and make her show you the entrance to the Forbidden Cave.
That sounds like fun. I will enjoy bending her to my will.
Yes, Dominate her as you see fit. Other acolytes seeking to complete their trials are sent to the tomb, where Academy laws are waived. They will try to murder you. This test will determine if you become Sith. So bolster yourself. To set foot in the tomb of Naga Sadao is to breathe in death itself.
Okay, so those of you paying attention will have noticed that we have just gone over the 2-hour benchmark. However, this is the last quest on Korriban. It's the last quest before I get my lightsabers, and so I've just now decided that I'm going to go over. I'm going to complete this quest and get my lightsaber, and then I can show you the Imperial fleet as well. So yeah, the Imperial fleet is like the social hub of the entire game. So I will, yeah, I'm gonna keep going until I get to there.
Ouch! Give it a rest, will ya?
I'm getting my fill of fun while I still can, slave. As if on cue, look who's back. Word is you might become Lord Barris's apprentice. Nice work if you can get it. So, I hear you'll be relieving me of this Twi'lek. She's a pain in the neck.
Ha! Who's a pain in the neck? I'm the one wearing a shock collar.
Consider that a going-away present, Twi'lek. Seems you might be useful for something after all. This bruiser is taking you into the tomb where we caught you.
None of you can figure out how to activate the tomb statues to open the Forbidden Cavern, huh? You got some kind of business in that secret Sith chamber, do you?
Jailer, I think she needs a little more juice.
All right, one more for the road.
Enough!
Here, kid. Take the shot control collar. I'll set it to a high level. Use it enough, she'll show you the back door to her mother's house.
I suppose I can play tomb tour guide. A lot of work went into cracking that nut. But I did it once. I can do it again. So we're clear. I'm officially on strike when it comes to domestic duties.
I mean, I completely agree, but that is the dark side option, so I'm going to go
Let's
for
give
that.
this higher setting a test run.
Okay, that's worse. Stop! I'll take you to the unlocking points throughout the tomb, and then open the secret door for you. Just lead the way.
Right, so, behold, oh, it's doing the walking thing again. 1 second, sorry. Behold, we now have a companion. So I'll quickly show you the companion menus. So this is where you can see all your different companions and their skill, their crew skills, which they haven't got yet, but no problem. This is where you can equip their armor. Armor on. Oh, I can't modify their equipment yet. You have to build relationship before you can change their equipment. Most of their equipment. There are some things you can change, but that's besides the point. The higher your influence with them, the more you can change about them. So, for example, so now my goal is, one of my goals is to increase my influence with her. So, to do that, you can do it through dialogue and stuff, but you can also give them gifts. So I'll give her a ring, moderate influence gain.
Great, thanks.
And it increases. We've also got a large bag of standard gifts. So if we take those out, and see what we got. Small. That's basically it, but that's besides the point. Yes, she is now our companion. and I normally go one of two ways with my companions. I normally either disregard their feelings entirely and just do what I think my character would do, or I try and make decisions to please them and increase influence. You can also go the other way and just constantly choose options where they disagree with you and disapprove of your actions, but it just makes things harder, to put it simply. It's not really worth the aggro. I have also forgotten to go and see the ability trainer, and as I'm now level 10, that would be a good idea to go and do. I'm gonna just take these out of my taskbar. I still have those abilities in my ability menu, but I don't really use them, so I've taken them off of there so that when I come up to here and get my new abilities, I have somewhere to put them.
The Force is a weapon. I will show you how to wield it.
Purges incapacity and movement impairing effects. Cloak of Pain. And
Show
I
no
should
mercy.
also now have Sprint. There we go, so I am now moving faster as well. You may have also noticed that right here at the top I've got this flashing indicator. This is because there are things I can do on the galaxy map, but I can't open the galaxy map until I have a ship. And you get your ship at the end of the second world. So on the dark side path,
Acolyte, may I
that
speak to you for a
is
moment?
Droman Cars. As I say, if there's an option to flirt, I'm doing it.
always willing to listen to a beautiful woman.
Oh, yes. Thank you. You're too kind, really. There was another acolyte, not long ago, who entered this tomb and did not come back. He died in there.
And it's giving it to me again.
And
so
you
we
were
go.
worried to see a handsome man like me die too?
No, I mean, not that... That's not what I meant. I mean, it's just that the acolyte who went in there, he was a good sort. Friendly and talkative. He said he was entering the tomb to prove himself to his father. I just thought it would be nice if somebody took his body back and told his father he didn't make it.
So go do it already, you useless woman.
Oh,
I'd never survive in there.
big switch
and even
there.
if I did, I wouldn't be allowed to see his father. He is a Dark
Go
Honor
from-
guard stationed in the Academy. None but Sith can ever set foot on the sacred ground where he stands watch. But you could find the body and bring it to his father. Please do this and honor the fallen.
I love how he's gone from, without, like, you know, obviously I picked the dialogue options, but I did not see it going from, oh, you're really attractive, to, you're a useless piece of that's every word then, sorry, you're a useless piece of rubbish, but there we go.
If I see the acolyte's body, I will try to retrieve it.
Thank you so much. If you find the Acolyte's remains inside the tomb, let me know. I can tell you where to find his father in the Academy. Good luck.
Okay, where are we going? Oh, we didn't get very far at all.
Yep, just like I left it. This place is still ultra creepy.
what is interesting, and again it's the same with lots of RPGs, is that you do have lots of NPCs hanging around in weird places, like that green dude just back there, that are there simply because they're part of someone else's storyline, and you never get, unless you go back and play that person's storyline, you never get context of why they're there. It's one of those strange things about RPGs is that there are, you know, in most games, you know, if I was playing, I'm trying to think of example, if I was playing The Witcher, anytime I saw an NPC in a weird place, the first thing I'd do would go and talk to them. It's just not what you do in an MMO. Again, if you do disagree with me on that, please do feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Just, you know, go easy on the insults. I'm sensitive, there's only so much I can take. That's not the truth. I can take anything you throw at me. That came across wrong. I didn't mean I can take anything that you specifically throw at me. I mean, I don't think there's anything anyone can say in the comments that would bother me too much.
Nobody better mess with us now.
Where's this us coming from? Die already. There we go. Go. Level 11. Oh, that sneeze is coming back round. Oh, apologies. Oh. Oh, it's coming back again. Oh, sorry. Just clean my hands, alright. A little bit of hand sanitizer. Last thing I want is germs on my keyboard. Alright, let's go.
Hey, this is it. The secret entrance to the hidden cavern is in here. Just let me get my bearings.
Oh. Oh, just roundhouse kick him in the face. Love it.
Take your time, slave. Just have the entrance uncovered by the time I finish killing your new master.
Time for
You'll
you to
do
die.
nothing of the sort. Fitting that you meet your end in a tomb, Vemrin.
My passions run deeper than yours. I am the true essence of what it is to be Sith. My legacy has suffered long enough. After today, you will be forgotten. It ends here and now.
Oh, I'm doing the funny walking thing. Let's try out some of my new moves. That wasn't very exciting, I apologise. The new move didn't actually do anything.
Becoming Barris's apprentice was my destiny. Did I come this far and overcome such adversity, only to be proven unworthy?
You were weak.
I have waited a long time to put you in your place. Consider this. Killing you was easy.
Then do it. Finish me.
Wow. Nice work.
Ooh. It's either thanks or I didn't ask. So it's either get her approval or get more dark side points.
Glad to impress you.
The secret entrance is right here.
I regret that. I should have shocked her. Get the dark side points. It's fine. Open sesame. I'm so sad. I've just reached my hand up
You're welcome.
to the monitor as if I was doing it with the force.
Here's my thank you, slave. Choke on it.
Sorry!
That's the last time I shock her, I've just decided. Because otherwise I'm going to end up with a companion that disapproves of me. And it's just more hassle than it's worth. And this, you know, this is where the role-playing part of RPG comes in. And that is, you've got to think about, you know, you've got to balance what would your character do with what you want to do, and what would please your companion. And I think there's, you know, I think it does cause a bit of a problem in that you start playing a game where you can, if you're not careful, you'll find that you're playing the game according to points rather than playing the game according to fun or building a character that you want to see. And it just all becomes about how this gets to the highest damage. And I think the point of games like this is that there's more to it than what's the best damage, what's the best armor. Or at least I think that's just no, it should be more about the story and the character building than it should be about the combat. lightsaber. I am the Senate. Oh, is it only going to give me one lightsaber though? I should explain, the original... When this game originally came out, you didn't pick your subclass, so Marauder or whatever the other one was, until level 10. So, one moment, sorry. So, I wouldn't have 2 lightsabers. What do I do? Drop that, yes. Accept those. Stick that there. That's actually a better weapon. That's really silly. 42, 34. Okay, it's a wider spec weapon, so we'll stick with it, but that seems silly. Okay. Yeah, so you wouldn't have the subclass. So when you did this in the original game, at this point you would only have one lightsaber. So you wouldn't be dual wielding at all. And then they talked about as well, now that everyone's seen the classes, we might as well give them, let them choose right at the beginning, and then they can have those weapons from the beginning, which is great, but it does mean that with the Sith Marauder and the equivalent version on the Jedi side, it means that you're running around with one training lightsaber and one real lightsaber, and it just looks a bit silly. Put these away. There we go. It's a bit like running around with a wooden sword in one hand and a steel sword in the other. Let's quick transport back. Quick travel back, sorry. And we're going to quickly do that item modification thing as well. Because it's literally just right clicking next to the thing. Just going to click on there. And then I'm going to quickly run over to him and sell all my stuff.
I've got the best hardware and the best prices.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to have a quick look on here. My lightsaber. Okay, so here we go. So these are all the things you can do. Change. You can change your colour crystal. I'm going to put in the mods that we just got, and just like that, it's now a better lightsaber. And it's as easy as that. Oh, I've got to go back to her as well. Sorry. It's just as soon as I go back to Darth Barris, that's the end of everything on Korriban. Not Korriban. We're not on Korriban. We are on Korriban. 1 second, sorry, I need to double check this. Yeah, as soon as I go to Darth Barris, that's the end. If memory serves, that's the end of Korriban.
That poor acolyte.
It wasn't
He got
pretty.
torn up pretty badly in there.
He was so brave and ready to prove himself to his father. His father was Naaman Fall. As I said before, He's one of the Dark Honor Guards in the Academy. If you take the Acolyte's remains to his father, I'm sure he'll be grateful.
Good idea.
That sounds worthwhile.
Thank you. It's good to see that there are more feelings embraced by the Sith than just hate and fury. You can find the Acolyte's father outside the chamber of the Dark Council. That's where he stands guard.
I feel like I was saying something before she started talking, but I can't remember what it was. So, I apologise if I started a thought and haven't finished it.
Ugh. As places of higher learning go, this one has got to be the scariest.
Oh, that's something I was going to do, sorry. I was going to look through everything I have. First of all, I'm going to see if I can put stuff on our net yet. No, not yet. That will give her a moderate increase.
This is great, thanks.
We've now actually maxed out level 1, so I'm not going to give her anything else. And then when oh no. There we go. When I talk to Darth Varys, she will then become my permanent companion, I think. Don't quote me on this. But I think she then becomes my permanent companion. And then I can...
You don't belong here. You stand before the chamber of the Dark Council, and this floor is off limits to all who are not lords of the Sith. If you are not on official business, you will leave now.
I've come with news about your son.
So that is the smell you carry. It is said he went into the tomb of Naga Sadao to prove himself, and was killed. He was such a weak boy. He shames me in death as he shamed me in life. When I heard of his death, I could not leave my post. Honor forbade it. Still, I would like to know what happened in there.
Of course. Ask away, my lord.
Your deference does you credit. Now tell me, where did you find his body? Did my pathetic son even make it past the first steps? In the end, was he Sith?
He died right at the entrance of the tomb. Pathetic indeed.
Of course he did. Every moment of his life existed only to mock me. I will keep his bones to remind me of my shame and to focus my anger. But you have done me a service, and such deeds should be repaid. You have brought me pain and torment. I will return the favor. My son sought a relic I placed in the base of a cracked statue, deep in the tomb.
Oh, he wants me
This
to go
crystal
back.
will release it. Now go.
Well, I'm not going to leave it undone. So, let's quickly run back. Oh, it's a 6-minute cooldown. I thought it was 2-minute cooldown. Okay, that's fine. Oh. Remember when I said there is full damage?
You're good to go.
Right, but let's quickly run to Darth Varys. It's not like a cutscene that takes me away from the oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, I'm now stuck here, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm not moving. Okay. It's fine. This is another function I can show. If I can remember how to do it. Somewhere. Is it this one? Somewhere there is an option called stuck, and it means that it will just respawn me somewhere nearby, but I cannot remember where it is. No, not that. Right, give me 2 seconds to Google it. Ah, okay, so it is. You have to go up to the chat window, and we go / stuck. Not capitalised though. / stuck. There we go. That hasn't really helped, but that's fine. No, we've just gone to the same place. / stuck. Okay, there we go. Go to the front of the thing then. Come on. No, okay. / stuck. Oh, this is not good content. I apologise, and I apologise for how often I apologise. Trying to see if there's just have that, take that way, move this to there. Okay, I don't know how long up. 7 more seconds. I might have to just log out and log back in, which I don't particularly want to do. Okay. Right, I'm standing still, so I should be able to quick travel. Please don't cancel. Yay! There we go. Right, let's go and claim this relic. Looking like this stream might be closer to 3 hours than 4 hours now. Sorry, 3 hours than 2 hours. It was never going to be 4 hours. How far in is it? Oh. This is my new thing. I've been doing it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I am a damage type. So they actually have they've specified 3 different types of
just like I left it. This place
class.
is still ultra creepy.
Not class. 3 different types of characters, and those characters are tank, damage, and support. The support obviously being the healer types. Now, I have picked the damage class, and then the damage subclass of the damage class, and then a damage speciality of the damage subclass of the damage class. as far as I'm concerned, all of my moves should be damage based. Unfortunately, the developers disagreed. And so I have, whilst I do have lots of damage based moves, a lot of them are things like buffs and the sort. I'm just going to leave her to deal with that. I'll deal with them because I'm not running away, but... Oh, she's going to die now. If you ran instead of fighting, we wouldn't be in this mess. Sure, she can handle one of them when I pick up. That's the other thing I like, sorry. Again, I don't know why I apologise there. What I like is the looting function as well. So, you see, obviously you've seen the lights come up, and the lights are different colours depending on what's there. So that's really helpful. But what's especially helpful is that when you, if there's lots of them together in close proximity, you only need to loot one body, and then the rest does it itself. Are these all passive? Yes, okay. I'll just read these quickly. I won't read them aloud or anything. Then I'll just pick one. Just go for that one. What was I saying? Yeah, you only have to, if they're all close together, you only have to loot one of them, and it brings out the loot of all of them into one menu, which just saves so much time. I mean, I used the example of The Witcher 3 earlier, so I'll use it again. If memory serves, The Witcher 3, you have to loot every, if you want loot from an enemy, you have to loot every individual enemy. Which, you know, sometimes is fine. But if you're, you know, you've been attacked by a group of drowners, and there's 10 drowners there, it means that you've got to loot 10 bodies, and it just takes ages. Especially if they are things like drowners, because you think, is it really worth it for just like another drowner brain when I've got, you know, 100 of them already? Yes, I can sell them, but not for very much. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love The Witcher 3. Yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant game, it's a masterpiece, but that is something that can get tedious. stairs. Here we go.
You murderer! My father was a staunch traditionalist and he was especially hard on me. But he's my blood. Did you think you could kill him and get away with it?
Refresh my memory. I kill many people's fathers.
You seek to add insult to injury. I'm Eskla Greiton. My father was Overseer Tremel. Remember killing him?
I don't have the ring anymore, but...
Well, I don't know, but I am in possession of his ring. See?
I'm going to rip that ring from your steaming corpse!
I highly doubt it.
I give it to you willingly, Eskella. Here.
Great. You think that's going to placate me? You'll rue the day you took his life. Attack!
Oh, okay. I offer you mercy. Throw it in my face. Oh, it's doing the auto run again. I apologise. I'm working on it now. There we go. It doesn't normally do it quite that often. It might be because I'm running the stream at the same time.
Only did you get the Twi'lek to cooperate. But you completed the task and claimed the ancient lightsaber. Venran was not in my chamber as I instructed. I take it he sought to stop you and claim the ancient weapon as his own.
He did. Now his carcass feeds the tomb's beasts.
Bravo! I see you may indeed become one of the strongest Sith in the galaxy.
Shaking.
Your trials are over. You are now my apprentice.
I am your humble servant, Master. I bow before you.
Rise, my apprentice. This is only the beginning. With you as my right hand, we shall strike fear into the Empire's enemies. I must convene with the Emperor and inform him of your progress. This shuttle pass will take you to Dromund Kos. Meet me at the Citadel there.
As you decree, my lord.
Take the Twi'lek slave as my gift. Do with her as you wish. If she'll be of use, by all means take her with you to Dromund Kos.
Okay, so we are getting a new lightsaber, and then we can pick one of these customizations for Vet. We can't actually use them until we've got a high enough what's it called? Influence for her, but to be honest, I don't particularly like any of them anyway. I mean, what's on her head? I'll take that one, but I'll probably end up selling it, to be honest. So, new lightsaber. New head thingy. Let's look at gifts, see if there's any decent gifts. We go over to our companion. Can we give her a customization yet? No. Can we equip stuff to her yet? Yes, there we go. We can now equip stuff to her. So, now this doesn't change stats, unfortunately. So, she will have the same. So her stats won't change. So this is all cosmetic. I feel like it should be red, just so that she suits. She's in what's my flip with me. No, those are better. That'll do for now. And then, if we have a quick look through, that's crafting materials. Oh, we could give her that as well, sorry. See how that looks on her. Stupid. It looks stupid on her. So then we have a quick look through. See if that changes anything.
Hey, thanks.
That's going to be a large gain.
Wow, I love it.
There we go, we're now on rank 2. These will be some small influence gains.
Hey, thanks.
And another one.
Thanks.
And another one.
Hey, thanks. This is great, thanks. Wow, I love it.
And just like that. Oh. I'm not sure how I feel about it being yellow. It's nice. Right. So, as promised...
As places of higher learning go, this one has got to be the scariest.
As promised, I'll take us up to the Imperial Fleet and have a quick look round. We've got about 12 minutes, so I'll do a quick loop around the Imperial Fleet, just to show you what's there. This is the wrong way. And then, if we've still got time, I'll quickly jump onto the my mercenary account, and I can show you a couple of the features that get unlocked later on in the game, if I can figure out how to get out of the temple. There we go, found it. Right, so here we have our shuttle. Now this is actually one of the last times you ever really use a shuttle. Because once you go to Dromund Kaas, you complete Dromund Kaas, and then you get your own ship. So you don't need a shuttle anymore. But this is the Imperial Fleet. Which one do I want?
All better.
Oh, it's for vet. Let's have a look at what we can put on vet. So we've got some boots. There was something else as well, wasn't there? Oh, vet slicing pants. Or, as we in the UK know them, trousers. And this, as you can see, is an outfit that makes more sense to have it on what's flipped. You know what I mean. So this is as I said, this is the one second. Imperial Fleet. This is the Imperial Fleet. We are on a spacer station. Go around this way. So there's lots and lots of vendors and stuff here. So down there you have your trainers and people that sell specific equipment for your class. Here we have the vendors for the Hut Cartel stuff. This is stuff for like PvP and stuff like that. As I said, it's going to be a very quick tour just because there's lots to go through. Up there, that is the Cartel Bazaar, so that's where you sell, where you can buy stuff with cartel coins, which you have to buy with real money. These are your light side, dark side vendors. Down there is where you have your like modification stuff for
Thorn
your
representatives
items.
tending to the Rackle situation are in need of volunteers. Caution.
Here we have
In volunteering,
more,
you
like,
place both your
rewards and
life and
stuff and
citizenship
vendors.
at risk.
Just lots of vendors all over the place. And then the next one. This is, so down there we've got appearance upgrades, different kinds of speeders. This is your stock market, so you can put up your stuff for other players to buy. You can buy stuff that other players are selling. That's to do with companions, I think. I don't really go in that one. And then last one. This is the stronghold section. Now, as I say, I'm going to go on to my other thing in a minute, and I'll show you. I've got a stronghold on that account, so I can show you that there. I'm just gonna close that because there's someone complaining about the game on there, but they're completely wrong with their opinion. So this is where you can buy strongholds. I'll show you that in my other account in a minute. This is where you can get crew skills. So when you've got a crew skill, you can... Oh, sorry, this is furniture here. I'll explain that first. This is where you buy furniture for your stronghold. So down there is your crew skill trainers. Now you can train your companions in your choice of crew skill, and then they can go on basically their own little missions, bring you back various bits and pieces. So these turbo bullets on the inside are where your personal ships are docked. I haven't got a personal ship yet, so it's not docked there. This is like a little bar, and these turbo lifts, I can't go up them, but there's like a little clubhouse just above us, and that's for subscribers. So that was a very, very, very quick introduction to the Imperial Fleet. We're now gonna quickly log out. Yes. Just logging out, and we're gonna go to Shaisi. So this is my bounty hunter character. She is level 42. Guildmaster just abandoned this guild and put me in charge. I will not do this. Okay, sorry. So this particular character is... you can ignore what I'm doing now. This particular character is part of a guild called the Bounty Hunters Guild, and that was just saying that my current the guild leader has left, and so they're disbanding the guild, which is a bit of a shame, but there we go. So I'm currently aboard my personal ship. We have a star map here that lets me go wherever I go. Got all these bits down here. this is my companion,
We'll talk
Mako.
later, okay?
This is just a bit of empty space. This is my holo terminal. There isn't really anyone to call at the moment. Go away. If we go down here, that's how you get off the ship. That's my other companion. That's an escape pod. This is cool. So this is a cargo hold. Well, I say it's cool. It's just where you can put stuff you don't want. I don't know if you unlock some later on in the game, but at the moment, if you want to use your cargo hold, you do have to pay for spaces using cartel coins, which, as I've said before, are bought with money, real world money. And these are my personal quarters. I've never actually been in here. I didn't know this was here, but that's fine. So if we run up to our map again, here we go, and we are going to go to no, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to go to strongholds. This is my stronghold on Nar Shaddaa. So you can buy a stronghold at any point. So I did have two. My first one I bought at level 10 and was on Dromencast, but I didn't like it, so I deactivated it and bought this one instead. So I'll give you a bit of a tour. This is my entranceway. And you have to buy. So when I say buy now, it's with in-game currency, not real currency. But you have to buy all of the ornaments and stuff yourself. So this is like my bits of Bob's room. I have got some mail, but I'll check that later. You don't want to spend time on it now. That's one of my pets. That's the other one of my pets. This is like a chill room where everyone chills out and does stuff. And that's basically it. So what happens is you buy the expansions and then you fill the expansions, and you can see down here it says 17% completion. Once every hook, just a sec, every one of these hooks can be have something put on it, and then so at the moment 17% of all my hooks that I've unlocked have got something on them, and that is strongholds. So if I click on here, I can return to my ship. And there is one more thing I want to show you, so I'm going to go a little bit over the 3 hours now. But if we go to our galaxy map, we can do space battles. How long is it? So I'm just seeing how long it is before I try it. It doesn't say. It's normally like, they're normally like 5 minutes long, so I might as well, I can go 5 minutes over, it's fine. I'm already an hour over, so get that to go away. So yeah, I can launch missiles and
Damn, I'm good.
And it's just, it's actually really simple. So if I can talk you through the controls as I'm doing it. So I use my mouse to decide where the cursor is. My left hand click is, no sorry, my left hand click. My left hand click is firing lasers. My right hand click is missiles, like that. And then if I keep my cursor still, which I'll do in just a moment, if I keep my cursor still, then my movement buttons for when I'm walking around will move me in those orientations. And then my spacebar makes me do a spin. The other cool thing is that every class, so for the 8 main classes, they all have their own ship, and all those ships are different.
Can't we just fly around it?
Which is a cool way of doing things, I think.
Damn, I'm good. Destroyer, hang on!
What I will say is I'm probably not going to win this one, simply because I'm not going fighting at quite a fast enough speed. So I've got 1.5 minutes left, and I've got 27. I've got destroy, and I'm dead. That's because I looked up to see what was happening above, how many I had left. I'm not going to try it again because I've now an hour and 4 minutes over, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to log out before I forget. Yeah. And I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. If you're still with me after I've gone an hour and 4 minutes over where I'm supposed to be, I want to thank you very much for being patient and for sticking around. Now, I said this at the end of the last one, and I'll say it again now. If you want to see, I'm going to keep the character that I was playing instead, and I'm going to keep him as he is. So, if you'd like to see him more, if you'd like to see him play more, then I can. I won't just release a video with him straight away. But if people ask for it in the comments, I will keep him as he is now, so we can pick him up later. So if that's something that interests people, put it down in the comments below, and I will do that. If it's something that won't interest you, then I won't do it. Yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do give me a like. It's free. And it means the world to me. If you want to see more of my videos, please do subscribe. And if you click the bell icon, you'll get a notification whenever I post a video. And if you want to leave a comment below, please do. I will bring this one and try to answer as many as I can. So if you want to tell me how amazing I like the game,